Good morning, students. Today we'll be discussing about the adrenergic antagonist. This is the unit 2 under the medicinal chemistry of the fourth semester. So, in previous classes, we were discussing about adrenergic drugs and their SAR. So, we know what is adrenergic drugs. I'm giving a revision of the chapter because in the adrenergic drugs, you have learned about the drugs which will mimic the action of the adrenergic drugs or adrenergic hormones. So, whenever the adrenergic hormones or adrenergic neurotransmitters are not required, they have to be antagonized. So, these drugs are known as the adrenergic antagonist. So, adrenergic blocking agents prevents the response of effector organs to endogenous as well as exogenous adrenaline and noradrenaline. That means the adrenaline and noradrenaline, which will be secreted from the adrenal medulla, so that action will be prevented. Sometime in case of any emergency, the adrenaline drug should be prevented, or adrenaline hormone should be prevented. That's why, and there are some another adverse effects of the adrenaline and noradrenaline also that will be prevented by the adrenergic antagonist. So, the therapeutic application of the drug coming under the adrenergic antagonist are receptor oriented. So, they're especially beta blockers as used as an antihypertensive, and there are some alpha adrenergic antagonists that are used to control the peripheral vascular resistance. That means the vascular part of the cardiovascular system will be resisted. Now, going to the next slide. Alpha-adrenergic blocking drugs are classified into two categories, that is non-equilibrium type and equilibrium type, where non-equilibrium types is having the beta-haloalkylamine and equilibrium type is competitive antagonist. So in case of beta-haloalkylamine, whereas in the beta position there is a halogen group and alkylamine group is present in the adrenergic drugs, and the name of the drug is phenoxybenzamine. And equilibrium time, there is a competitive antagonist. That means the drug will be competitively inhibiting the action of the adrenergic drugs. So they are categorized into non-selective, alpha-1 selective and alpha-2 selective. So in case of non-selective drugs, there is argot alkaloid, imidazoline and miscellaneous. So argotamine, argotoxin, these are the drugs which are coming under the argot alkaloids. And hydrogenated argot alkaloids are there, like the dihydroargotamine, dihydroxyargotoxin and codargotine. And in case of miscellaneous, chlorpromazine, that is a very important synthetic drugs. Actually, this type of argotamine and argotoxin natural drugs are not used because their biosynthesis and their collection is very tough. That's why synthetic category is used, like the chlorpromazine, and that is also used as a anti vomiting agents, like this motion sickness. This type of cases we use that. So coming to the alpha-1 selective, that is used for the antihypertensive drug like prazosin, terazosin, doxazosin, alfuzosin, these are the tamsulosin, slidosine, these are. And alpha-2 selective yohimbine, this is one of the category of the drug. Next, chemical classification, we can classify as alpha receptor blocking agents and beta haloalkynamines. These are the first category, where alpha receptor blocking agents and the drugs are beta haloalkynamine. So that means at the second position of the carbon, beta position, there is a halo group, matlab halogen group, and alkylamine is present. See, this is the alkyl group and alkylamine. This is the alkylamine group. One category is dibenzamine. That is one of the category. Phenoxybenzamine, where you see phenyl group CH2O. That's why it is known as a phenoxy, and it is known as a phenoxybenzamine because benzene group is there and amine group is there, and as well as haloalkene at the second group, at the halo position, at the second beta carbon, that is halogen is also present. Next, chemical classification, coming to the natural and dehydrogenated argot alkaloid. This type of structure is present in the argot. So argot is an important pharmacognostic plant. This is a fungus which is derived in the rye plant, under the ovary of the plant. So there's a fungus, and this fungus carries this alkaloid, and which is very having property like the uterine relaxation property, and they have effective property in case of, what can I say, pregnancy, because of delivery and abortion. In this case of cases, we can use it. So this structure contains two phenyl benzene ring with a 5-member nitrogen containing ring, that is the pyrimidine ring, and one nitrogen and CH3 containing ring here, and oxygen dioxide containing ring furan, and one imidazoline ring. Okay, so these rings are present in where R1 and R2 are different substitutions can be there, where in case of R1, if it is CH3 case here, and R2 CH2 C2X5, that means up benzene group will be coming, so that is known as the arbutamine, and like this way argocystine, argocryptine, argochromine, this type of drugs are also derivatized. Next chemical class in imidazoline derivative, whereas tolazoline, that is also a chemical drug. Phentolamine, see tolazoline, that is the imidazole is present, nitrogen containing 5-membered imidazoline ring. Phentolamine, that is also a imidazole derivative, where this benzene rings and hydroxy rings and methyl toluene rings are also present. Phentolamine. Next, coming to the drug, that is the quinazolines. Just one second. Quinazolines, where two nitrogen containing 6-membered ring is present. That is known as a quinazoline. See the structure. Terazosin. That is also quinazoline ring, whereas some of the substituents are differing their structure. Just one second, I have got two different slides. That is the quinazoline, like prazosin, terazosin, these are the category. Doxazosin, this type of drugs are also present as quinazoline. Now coming to the tolazoline synthesis. So this drug is synthesized from the phenyl acetonitrile, CH2CH group, CN, that's why acetonitrile is present, and it is treated with ethyl alcohol, HCl, and water molecule will be reduced, and one nitrogen containing group will be reduced with the hydrogen, and incorporation of the C2H5O with ethoxy group will be incorporated. Then one molecule of ethane 1,2-diamine will be incorporated here. So as a result, the ring closure will be done, going on from this category. One CH2 molecule taken to close this ring. Taken. Now coming to the tolazolline, the mechanism of action. This is a drug of vasodilator that apparently first has direct action on blood vessels and also increases the cardiac output. And actually, in case of hypertension, then the vessels are constricted, so blood circulation becomes problematic. So that's why if this drug is attached with these vessels or arteries, then there will be dilation and increase the cardiac output. Tolazolone can interact to some degree with the histamine, adrenergic, and cholinergic receptors also. It is used in treatment with persistent pulmonary hypertension of newborn. Some of the newborn having the hypertension problem, so it can be used. Coming to the phentolamine, a substituted aniline and 3-aminophenol, in which hydrogens of the amino group are replaced by 4-methylphenyl. See, this is a phentolamine. It is a nitrogen 5-membered nitrogen containing ring. See, the first containing tolazoline is a imidazole, 2 nitrogen containing 5-membered ring, that is tolazoline. Phentolamine is also a imidazoline ring containing drug. 3-aminophenol. So at the third position, aminophenol ring is present. If we make nomenclature with this 1, 2, 3, So at the 3 position, aminophenol. Amino NH2 was there and a phenol group is there. So the drug name is known as the 4,5-dihydro 1H imidazole 2-methyl groups respectively. Treatment of hypertension caused by pheochromocytomia that you have to undergo for the search. Now coming to the phenoxybenzamine, that is one of the important drug that is having the longer duration of action, where two phenyl group is there, phenoxy because phenyl along with oxy group, phenoxybenzamine, benzene along with the amine and chloride. So long duration of action. It has been used to treat hypertension and it is used as a peripheral vasodilator also. So phenoxybenzamine is also used to treat hypertension and peripheral vasodilator. It acts as a peripheral vasodilator. Next, coming to the prazosin, one of the important category. It is also known as a minipress, which is used as a very important category of drug as hypertension. So it belongs to the class of drugs known as the alpha-1 antagonist. So benefits in controlling the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder and dissociated nightmares. So in case of any trauma, if there is any stress and disorder, so that type of drug can also reduce the stress, also prazosin, because due to some tension the blood pressure can be increased, and in case of blood pressure increment some of the stress coming on, so that's why nightmare also coming on, so that's why prazosin is also used. So the name of the drug is 1,4-amino-6,7 dimethoxy 2 quinazonyl 2 furanil carbonyl peptide. Coming to the dihydroarbutamide, an argot alkaloid used to treat migraines, especially migraines. It is a derivative of arbutamine, and the structure is here. Two nitrogen containing ring is present, 6-membered. It is used as nasal spray or injection as an efficacy similar to that of sumatriptan. And nausea is common side effect, which is it is alkaloid and very bitter in taste. Methyl cerazide, that is also important category of drug, which is alkaloid derivative as well as used for the migraine also. Arbutamine derivative introduced in pharmacotherapy for migraine prophylaxis. So specific serotonin receptor antagonist, and it is also antagonizing the action of the serotonin, because serotonin sometimes causes a disorder, stress, or any psychiatric problem. So that serotonin can also be inhibited if this drug is used. So this type of problem can be cured. Now there are some first category of the up to this we have learned about the alpha adrenergic blockers. For the next classes we will be learning about the beta adrenergic blockers. So this first category of the drug was classified as alpha adrenergic blocker. In the next classes we will be going for the beta adrenergic blockers. See, these are the slides remaining on, and I will be discussing this drug on the later classes. So, thank you everyone.